number of tools, a number of practices, a number of exercises that will actually help you discover your authenticity and hopefully give you ways to express it on a regular basis. And the first is something that I have covered in previous sessions, and it is known as the VITALS exercise. You can think your way through these now. I'm going to put the workbook up there as well, just in case you want to use it at a later date. But what I would say to you is go through the questions with me now, because now is when you're in the session, we're working together, you can ask me questions in the chat, and now is the time where we're actually discussing this as a topic. You're doing it anyway. Make the most of it, rather than think, oh, tomorrow, oh, I've got to go through that workbook. Do it now. Do it now, because that way you'll probably get more out of it. So I want you to think about what your values are. And we've thought about values a lot, so don't spend too long over this. 3 things that you really value. Write those down and ask yourself, do I demonstrate those things every single day? Because if you don't, then what you might find is that the people who are attracted to you are actually attracted to what you're putting across and not really what you're feeling inside. And then that's where you become exhausted. That's when your mental health suffers. So remember, striving for mental health, committing to mental health is like committing to physical health. You've got to keep doing the exercise. So always work to live at least one of your values every single day, then work up to 2, then work up to 3. Number 2, your interests. Are you interested in life? Because if you're not engaged with life, it begins to feel pretty awful. And that again has detrimental effects on our mental well-being. So think about what really gives you a sense of purpose. And again, try to use that. So if you can't find it in your subject, or you can't find it in your job, or you can't find it in your relationship, for example, try and create it somewhere else. That's the thing to look for. What engages you? What is your temperament? If you are thinking very quickly, you like thinking quickly, but actually you have to work in an environment where you have to think very slowly, that's not going to suit you all the time. It will exhaust you. Remember, you can put on the outer face for a certain amount of time, and sometimes we have to, but it's important to keep that inner self nourished and that inner self nurtured. So if you work in a situation which goes against how you feel or how you want to feel, find a situation which allows you to express yourself in the way you want, or find people that allow you to express yourself in the way you want. Same thing with being around the clock if you're a morning person or an evening person. If you're a morning person and you work night shifts, then find a way of perhaps trying to reset your body clock if you can, or see if you can find some kind of compromise with your workplace. Again, it is possible to do the professional thing. It is possible to present the best outer self you can possibly create, and it will make you very successful. But unless you are actually nurturing the inner self, the authentic you, all of that outer stuff is for nothing, because it won't be able to sustain it. Mental health and the search for mental wellness and the commitment to it is about nurturing and accepting who you are. Your life goals. Make sure you know what you're aiming for. Always have that aim in mind. And don't worry if you have to reset it, but have an idea of what you want and revisit it maybe every 3 months, because it might change, and that's fine. And the last point, strengths like your values. Know what they are and try and use them every single day. And I don't care if your strengths are things like I'm very diligent and I'm very organized, the things that people don't see as quite as glamorous as being brave or as being impulsive even. If you don't have diligence, if you don't have organizational skills, it kind of doesn't matter how brave you are. You need the balance, because in order to really succeed, you actually need to have the planning, the structure, the thought process, as well as the courage to run out there and grab it. So I don't mind what your strengths are. Be proud of them, because they're part of you.